Hey Scrappy Peeps, Susanna here today for the last Stash Bash hop of 2017, and we are busting into our mists today, and this is the layout I created. I started off with the cut file, so you can see I have the positive, as well as I recut the file and just did an outline of the ivies so that I could use my mists and back the file with that. So I sprayed water first, and then I used two colors of Dylusions greens. I used Cut Grass and Dirty Martini. And I felt that I wanted just a little bit of shimmer and some extra green to that, so I went ahead and grabbed my Vibes from Shimmer's Hermit the Frog. And I had a fair amount of color left on my mat, so I thought, oh, I'll go ahead and soak that up with just a piece of white cardstock, and I can use that for something else some other time. I love the green mixture that this created, and I just thought, it might come in handy for something. So I tried to pull as much color off the mat as I could between the cut file and that white cardstock, and then I just picked up the rest with my kitchen towel. And then I wanted some green splatters into that, and they end up being really subtle, and so I used some old Mr. Huey's. I wanted to not have to wait, so I brought out my heat gun and just shot that up to dry it up quickly so that I could go ahead and continue to work on this layout. So you can see how I backed it was able to back the file with that file that I cut doing a little bit of manipulation in Silhouette Studio. So I have Illustrated Faith or Bella Boulevard's Christ Mass Christmas collection. It is last year's Christmas collection, I believe, from Illustrated Faith, and that is what I'm working with today. There are green bits and pieces in the collection, but there wasn't enough green to actually back this with, so I thought this was a perfect technique, and it allowed me to bust into my mists. So originally you can see that I will use the cut file with the holly to the left, and that's the way that it's demonstrated in the Silhouette store, but the way that I end up backing things, you'll see me move it around. I really wanted to stitch around that circle, but my initial thought had been that I was going to tuck the picture into the circle, and then with the holly there, I just wasn't sure how I was going to be able to make that work. So then I thought of backing the circle, but it wasn't the look that I was looking for. I liked just that simple circle as it was. So I found these from another project that I had worked on. I had some scraps, and so I wanted to use up some of these scraps to back the picture with. So I start with the red, just for a thin border of that. And then I decide, oh, I want a glassine bag, just put a little bit of depth to this. So I just fold the bag and tape it so that I can still use the bigger part of the pocket to put journaling in. And go ahead and put my picture on that, and then put it down on that red. And it was a perfect height, top and bottom, to use it that way. And then I could just trim off what was not necessary over there. And then I've wanted a punch of black, and I really wanted that black, that dark color, to be on the left-hand side to sort of offset the my husband sitting on the right on Christmas morning. And I toyed with putting a little bit of black poking out over the right-hand side, but really all I needed was on the left, so I just cut off a teeny tiny piece. And you can't really see the black because of that little bit of bag that's sticking out there, so I decided I wanted to just rip the bag, kind of give it a more organic look and allow you to see that black pattern paper a little bit better. So there we go. That's kind of the way that's going to look. But then I realized that with the glassine bag there, you can't tuck it in the way I had originally wanted, so I shift the holly to the top left. Then I see this little heart scraps as a background, and I thought it might be fun to have those poking out the top and the bottom of the layout. And originally I cut this so that the whole thing was going to be behind the picture, and then I realized, well, that's a waste of paper. I only need a topper and a bottomer, a header and a footer for the photo. And so I just cut strips that I can place behind the photo. And I wanted the red heart to be poking out over the top of the photo there, so I just trimmed an extra layer off. So here we go. I'm going to shift this around. We're going to play merry-go-round with the holly, and this is ultimately where it ends up on the top right to balance the photo on the bottom left there. So now it's time to pull out all of the die cuts and the ephemera and the washi tape to decorate the layout. I also have the stickers as well that came with the paper collection. And so I'm going to speed this up because I literally go through every single color label there to see. I'm looking for the greens, the blacks, and the reds because those are the colors of the layout. Toss the yellows aside and the blues. And I'm left with just these two options, really, the greens. And I liked that lighter green that says Christmas on it because it's not quite as heavy and is just a subtle punch of green to complement the green in the holly on the right hand side. So I go ahead and adhere that to the picture, and I try and line up the line under Christmas with the line of the white in the photo there. And then now I have the these are the washi. This is the washi pack that comes with the collection, and I decided to use a few of the hearts, but I wasn't sure where I wanted to put them just yet, and so I want to commit to getting this stuff on the layout before I actually proceed with decorating it any further. So I put the holly down using my ATG, and then I'm going to flip this over and use my Scotch Quick Dry just on that circle there, and it's easy to just press the paper down on top of that. You can see, rub that in, and it's a quick way of getting that adhered. So now I've got the die cuts that come with the collection, and just again I sped through this a little bit because I played with every single option that there was, and ultimately I get rid of those two holiday ornaments in the top left there, but I do put these green leaves in to just complement the holly leaves, and then the two trees at the bottom beside that Christmas label at the bottom of the picture there. I kind of struggled with where these leaves were going to go. I wanted something pleasing, but not overpowering to that holly decoration up there. I tried a couple of the circular elements, but just that circle, that subtle circle was enough. So from the washi, I go ahead and pull off the red heart and a black heart, and I just put that up the top for a pop of extra color into that green up there. I knew I wanted to get some enamel dots into the holly berries. It was just a matter of time before I got around to doing that. So I knew there would be a pop of red up there, but I wanted a little bit more color to offset the color that's in the Christmas morning photo. And then there's another piece of washi. It's just holly leaves to complement the holly from the top right and sort of tie everything in together. And I just tucked that in behind the photo there. And so I'm going to put one Christmas tree directly onto the picture there, that one. And then I'm going to get my Scotch foam adhesive and just put that on the second tree and just kind of pop that up off the page a little bit. There we go. And adhere that down. And then there's a couple more decorations that we're going to go ahead and just put small little things, stars, hearts, and again, just for a little pop of color. I could have splattered mist on there as well, but I really didn't want to mess up the kind of the clean look that I've gotten there, and so I just use sequins, which I we'll put on later, as well as some of these smaller stickers just for that sort of illusion of mist. And I like the way that those little embellishments pull your eye from the holly on the top right down to the picture in the bottom left there, kind of creates some movement across the page. So that is the bulk of the layout. Really, I'm going to get some enamel dots now, and there's several different sizes of the hollies there, so I needed a few different sizes to fill in those little circles for the holly berries. And I start off with the Doodlebug. I like it was a much brighter red that matches the red in the Christmas collection that I was using from Illustrated Faith, and so you'll see I pull off one of them that doesn't quite fit, and then go with a different set of, I think this is My Mind's Eye, really old My Mind's Eye actually, and that works perfectly, and I like that it's slightly different hue as well. And so now we need a title. So I grab Bella Boulevard Illustrated Faith letter stickers, and I put Celebrate moving in along the circle as my title. Some of the letters have a little heart as the innard, and I put that little black heart down by the Christmas trees just to, again, put a little added pop right there. So I initially call this done, but I decided that I didn't like just Celebrate as the title, and I needed a little bit more red on the layout. So there I am putting some Spiegelmom scrap sequins. I pull the reds from one collection and the greens from another collection. And so what I did with that green, do you remember I mopped up the extra color with the green? So I just took a letter dye and I ran that through my Big Shot machine with the extra soaked up color, which was a great way to get a complementary and or same color into the title. So I wanted Celebrate the Season. And so I used those red letter stickers from Webster's, and then Season from the same from the same misted paper that I had used to mop up the color. And I had to run it through again a second time in order to get Season. So there's the red, and then there's tying in the green as well, just to get that full movement all the way around. So I put these stickers through my Xyron sticker maker. And that, my friends, is going to be the end of this layout. I'm going to call that done as soon as I get everything adhered. There are some close-ups to follow. Again, this is a Stash Bash hop, so I'm starting off this week or this month, and then you will go to visit a bunch of my friends along the way. And do stop back in December because we have something special going on to close out the year. Thanks for stopping in today. If you don't subscribe, I'd love for you to hit the subscribe button coming up. Thanks for stopping in. Take care.